local man received commutation from President Trump before he left office. Corvain Cooper was serving a life sentence after getting a third strike for selling marijuana.
Tell me who wanna run with us. Mobbing back to back in them Bentley trucks. Blowing on that saucy to set me tough. I used to take that package, I would wrap it and send it up. Now I put money on your books until the day that you sent it up. One nigga Corvain said he living life.
Hey everyone, I'm Loriel with 40 Tons, and welcome to another episode of Tons Talk. Tons Talk is where we chat with people in the cannabis industry that have been positively and negatively affected by cannabis. And we are here today with the amazing Jai Kensey. Welcome to the show, Jai.
Hey girl, hey.
Well, I'm super excited to have you here.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. So tell us what your title is and the name of the company that you work for.
Yeah, so I'm a social impact director at Green Thumb Industries. We're a consumer packaged good company, a national consumer packaged goods cannabis company. We have about 17 cultivation facilities across the United States and 77 dispensaries across the United States. My role is really focused on doing our philanthropic work. So just like 40 Tons is an organization that believes in social equity and giving back to the community, the role that I have at GTI is working with organizations like yours, 40 Tons, to really get out there and give back to the community, working with our employees in the employee engagement space, and really just showing that, you know, we are doing good work in the community.
Awesome. I love that. I love that you are a supporter of 40 Tons and a fellow sister in the space, so I appreciate that. Let's start way back when. Let's take us back to when you graduated high school, and what were your plans there, and what did you want to do with yourself? And
oh, Lord. You can try to age me now.
No!
Well, I'm from California, so I know that, 40 Tons is a brand that's based out of California. Y'all are national, but born out of California. So it's born and raised. My dad is from Chicago, from the south side of Chicago, Cabrini Green. So I've gone back and forth. Well, and then also Cabrini Green. But after high school, I just kind of knew, I was like a super ambitious high schooler where I knew that I wanted to get out of, certain situations that I was in, and I knew that I wanted to do better. And so I knew, like, I had to get into college. I figured out how to get into college by myself. I figured out how to get financial aid by myself. I figured out how to get into an HBCU, and I literally just, like, looked at a map. It was like, any, mo. And so I ended up in Atlanta, which was a blessing because I just came home and showed my mom an acceptance letter. Like, I got into college. I need you to drop me off in Atlanta on this date.
Whoa.
And she was like, how did you even do that? Like, what happened? And so she and my grandmother hopped in the van and dropped me off in Atlanta. And it was like the best thing that ever happened to me because it was the first time in my life that I ever saw, Black people who look like me, doing it, going to college, excellent. Working, doing, I had never even seen a Black doctor. I had never seen a Black police officer, a Black person working in a bank. And it was something that just lit a fire in me to want to do more, be more. And I knew that after I graduated college, like, I didn't want to leave school without at least eight internships under my belt. Wow. Because I was in this place where I'm like, I didn't want my grandmother to have to take care of me when I graduated. So I was like, look, I'm getting a job when I get out of here. And so I did. And I was just like one of those kids that was like a crazy hustler. And so when, All-Star Weekend came to Atlanta.
What year was that, girl?
I can't remember, and I'm not going to say because it is going to age me.
Okay. So, the late 2000s or something like that?
I don't know. But so when they came to Atlanta, it was me and my group of friends. We were all like majoring in PR and marketing, and I was like, look, let's make business cards, and we're going to make these cards, and all weekend long, we're not going to no parties. We're going everywhere and networking, handing out our cards like we're leaving here with a job this weekend, because I wanted to work in sports PR, and all of my other friends were working in PR and marketing as well. And it just so happened I met someone, Nicole. Shout out to Nicole. She ever sees
Nicole.
This from LA.
LA.
She was in Atlanta with the Clippers, and I met her in the ladies' room.
Because this is All-Star Weekend, yes?
All-Star Weekend.
Right.
And so you never miss an opportunity to connect with somebody. And so I said something to her, and we just started chopping it up. I was like, I'm from Cali, you're from Cali. And I told her, I was like, oh, you work for the Clippers? And I said, yeah, I'm trying to get an internship. Literally a few months later, I got an internship with the Los Angeles Clippers.
Wow.
And then it's so crazy because full circle, when you interview with the Clippers, they do a full panel of like, here are all the jobs that are available. And I initially went in PR. That was my major. I wanted to work in sports PR. And I met the woman there who was doing corporate social responsibility for the Clippers. I had never even, this is why I always tell people like exposure is so important, and particularly in this cannabis space too, so people don't miss out on opportunities. You don't know what's out there until you know. You don't know what you don't know, you know? Yeah. And so when that woman started talking about her job of giving back to the community, working with the Clippers, doing turkey drives, book drives with kids and all this stuff, I was like, hold up, this is like actually what I want to do. So from the beginnings, from that point on, every component of my life in terms of my career always included community relations and social impact type of work. And because of that moment, because I didn't even know it existed before then.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember watching an episode of Oprah when she says, when women, Black women, we have this aha moment, right? Where something just really starts to click. And I think you had these several aha moments of like, you put yourself out there at the All-Star Weekend and was able to make these connections, and all sort of organically happened, and it was your passion and your drive, and it's continuing down your path of greatness so far.
Oh, thanks. Thank you, girl. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Okay. So you do this internship for the Clippers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and then how long was that internship, and then where did you go from there?
Oh, it was a season.
Okay.
We got 60 minutes. I have a long, my life went from boom, boom. Because like people be like, how many lives did you live? So I'll do the short version. So from the Clippers, I ended up moving overseas. I worked for them for the full season. And then I realized that I didn't want to work in sports PR anymore. Okay. After that season. No diss to the Clippers. I'm still a super fan.
We love the Clippers.
I still love the LA teams. But I moved overseas. I moved to Japan. I got an opportunity to move to Japan. So I took that opportunity. I moved there for about almost a year. Came back. And it's funny because I literally just had lunch yesterday with the person who gave me my first job in PR, my mentor, forever mentor. Shout out to Gwendolyn Young of Young Communications, who I love to pieces. And so I just had lunch with her yesterday, and she was the first person who gave me a job. She has her companies here in LA. And she was like, I just got to meet this woman who was working in Japan. Like, you got to come into the office. And that's what she said. And so then I started working with her doing PR communications, corporate communications at her agency, working with clients like the LA Department of Health, the state of California on health campaigns, really targeted at the community, Black and brown communities, to really make us aware of health issues, working with pharmaceutical companies, and on the community relations side, task force within communities within Inglewood, within Compton, South Central, and really building community task force to help combat systemic issues within those communities. So it was a great opportunity working with her. From there, I moved to Washington, D.C., and started working for Ogilvy PR, which is one of the largest PR firms out there. And again, still working in the health and science space and community relations, supporting Black and brown communities in terms of multicultural communications.
Yeah, I read that you did work at the American Red Cross, right?
Yeah, that's where I was most recently before I joined GTI. So I was doing development communications where like I would work with some of the companies like Facebook, Target, the Walmart Foundation, and all those big brands that support the organizations, disaster services, military services, nursing programs and whatnot, and help to build out those corporate social responsibility programs, as well as help tell that philanthropic story around their gifts to the organization. So it was a great opportunity. They're doing great work, and I love storytelling as well. So I used to have an opportunity to go out to disaster sites and meet with families here in California, going up to the earthquakes in Northern California, and talk to families who've pretty much lost everything, and go out, find families to say, you know, are you willing to share your story so that we can help to raise funds to support you, to put you up in our shelters. And so it was great to like do that type of storytelling for the news and for the Red Cross's platforms. But yeah, it was great. I loved it. Yeah, and so that's how I ended up in Green Thumb, because it's like an extension of the work that I was doing in terms of giving back to the community. I wanted to move on to the corporate side of things. I was working with so many corporations on the nonprofit side. I wanted to switch to the corporate side, but particularly I wanted to do something that was very specific to supporting the Black and brown community, period. Like it was after the George Floyd murder,
Yes.
it was like a moment for me where I was just like, I don't want to do nothing that is not supporting my community at all. I said, if I'm going to spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week doing something, I want it to be meaningful and impactful. And so I just, and I talk about this all the time in terms of like a journal that I would keep in terms of like, how do I want to feel when I'm in this role? Like, I don't, I'm at that age where I'm just like, I don't want to just work to work. I want it to be impactful and to mean something to me, you know? So I wrote it down, and this job came about, and I was able to, transfer those skills, almost 20 years of working in the corporate social responsibility space and the nonprofit, agency, corporate, government, and then come over to this GTI side.
Yeah, and GTI is definitely, I know, grateful to have you on their team. And I know with all the vast network of people that you have had the blessing to work with, you just bring that over to them. And so, wow, wow. Great. I love that you continually to stay true to your Black and brown community, and like nothing has wavered you from that, no matter if you were in the nonprofit, for-profit sector, now in corporate, you are still making them have awareness of what they need to be doing and being socially responsible, especially in the cannabis space.
Yeah. And it took a bit to get to that. I'm not going to lie. Like, it took a bit. Like, as you mature, you become more aware and comfortable with yourself, And so it took me a bit I was just telling one of your team members about how the reason why I'm raising my son on the south side of Chicago and why I'm raising my son in Chicago, because I need him to have that foundation of who he is as a little Black boy growing up here in America. And that's something that I feel like I didn't have until I moved to Atlanta, where I could see people. I really feel like in our communities, you have to see it to believe it. Yes. And so when me having this sense of self didn't come just like, it was more of like a progress and like just a progression of like experiences, and then get into a place and age. Let's keep it all the way real. Get into a place of just being like, I just want to be unapologetically a woman, unapologetically Black, unapologetically myself. And for me, I want to unapologetically support my community. And that, and there should be nothing wrong with that. And that's exactly what I'm able to do in my role here at Green Thumb, and especially through our projects, like with Good Green, we have a...
tell us a bit more about this amazing initiative that GTI has.
Yeah, so we have a brand called Good Green that was created. It was a brainchild of our CEO to really create a brand that was developed to give back to the community, to give back to communities that were impacted by, wrongfully impacted by the war on drugs. It's available in various states, Illinois, Virginia, Maryland, and a couple of other states. But we leverage those resources to reinvest those funds back into communities through programming, through support through DE&I efforts, through grants. Just the past 2 years, we gave about over $1.5 million in total to organizations that are supporting communities out nationwide. I'll talk about a few. Why Not Prosper is one organization out of Philly. And I love it so much because I'm a big believer in organizations working with people that are from the community to support the community. And Reverend Michelle out of Philly, she used to be incarcerated she knows what it's like and what women need in this space after they've been incarcerated and I don't know if you've like picked somebody up from jail before, but I have.
Oh, yes, yes, I have.
Yeah. And so it's like when they come out,
3 times.
those immediate services that are needed. And so, I love her so much because she is somebody who's from the community. People trust her. And we gave her organization, like a $60,000 grant through Good Green. And so organizations like her, like simple things like getting your license, getting your birth certificate. Yeah. Can I get a phone card? Because people just come out of prison with just a plastic bag with nothing. Right. And it's and so to have somebody to embrace you when you come out, to have you to hold your hand, to help guide you through that process when you come out, it's so important. It's needed. Mm-hmm. And so what we do through the Good Green program and through the Good Green brand is just look for those organizations that are on the ground in the trenches, really connected to the community and trusted in the community. And not that we wouldn't work with like larger nonprofits, but I'm just a true believer in starting from the ground up. Yeah, in the real grassroots efforts where, those mom and pop organizations that people look past because they don't have, the PR platform that a lot of these larger nonprofits have, because they're doing just as much good work in the community as well.
Yes, and I know it was you single-handedly that allowed 40 Tons careers to benefit from.
Oh yeah, of course, that's a
the
no-brainer.
Organization.
Look, I wish I could curse.
You.
I was about to say something.
Why not?
I was about to say I fucks with 40 Tons.
Yay! We love
it's one
y'all.
of those things, and of course, because it's like the whole team. Like, I just like authentic people. I'm my grandmother's child. Like, there is no, like...
I got you beat, Jai. Hold on. I am my great-grandmother and grandmother's child, because my mom was, addicted to crack in the 80s, so that was a whole nother ball of wax. So they call me like a young old lady because I'm like an old soul, right?
Right.
So I know. So go ahead.
Yeah, my grandmother's from Texas, and so it's one of those things in me, like, I like working with real people. And that just, not even just work, like that trickles over to my work because I like fucking with real people. And so and even in work as well. And so the organizations, so when the work we're doing with 40 Tons in terms of the Good Green effort, it's just a great partnership to really support. So what I'll take a couple steps back so that people know that Good Green, the focus of Good Green is really on expungement, employment, and education. So those are the 3 focus areas that we really look to support in terms of working with nonprofits or organizations. But in 2023, we said, let's really hone in and be thoughtful and work on this employment piece. So that's where the partnership came about, that we were so happy to work with 40 Tons to really activate these experiential career conferences across the U.S., started in Chicago, on the south, well, it won't be on the south side, but it's close enough at the Malcolm X Center.
I mean, what better place, right? Juneteenth.
Right.
Oh my God, June 19th.
June 19th.
Beautiful Chi-Town, Chicago.
Beautiful, summertime Chi. It's about to be lit.
Yes.
And so it's one of those things, and the Malcolm X Center is something special. My dad did a mural in there. It's like it's a special place.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy that we're having it there, but it's just a great opportunity for 2 organizations to come together with a shared mission of driving, which now we call inclusion and belonging. Okay. And a way to get people to understand, like, you deserve a seat at this table, at this cannabis table. Absolutely. I come from the legacy market in terms of my family. My brother-in-law spent time in prison for cannabis. My nephew has cannabis convictions. My mother sold weed to take care of us. And so it's one of those things where it's like, all of them deserve a seat at the table. So I love that we're having this job fair in a place where it's accessible to people who have cannabis convictions, who are just curious about the plant, curious about the industry, and who want to learn more. And it's in a space where it's central to where the Black and brown community can get to it. And so we're excited about it. I feel like it's going to be an amazing day to get people out there to learn about the jobs that we have at GTI, to learn about the Good Green brand, to learn about the industry as a whole. Because that's the thing, too. It's like, of course, we want you to come to Green Thumb Industries as an employee for us. But the whole point of this is to really introduce the community to all of the ocean of opportunities that are out there. It's not just about the licenses. It's not just about the state issued licenses that are out there that, a lot of people you hear in the news that's really overshadowing the ocean of opportunities, whether you want to be a cannabis chef, a cannabis marketer, a cannabis journalist, a cannabis communications professional,
content
cannabis,
creator.
Content creator, accountant. There are so many things out there that you can do that you don't even need to get a license for, And so it's a great opportunity for folks to go. Like I said, it's going to be an experiential event where people are going to really enjoy to just network, meet new people, and just have a good time. So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I think with Good Greens wanting to be a part of this cannabis conference that we're calling Level Up, by the way, as Level Up Cannabis Conference in Chicago. It's allowing other MSOs to know where they need to put their social equity dollars at and be more socially responsible. And I think Green Thumb is actually going to be paving the way. So
thank you.
Yeah,
it's a this social equity piece. I was just talking to somebody today about, everybody has their lanes and doing what you can do, because, I work with our government affairs team. They're heavy on the policy side. Our teams of social impact in terms of work we do with organizations and partnerships with like 40 Tons. But, not everybody is, this is why we look to be strategic in terms of our partnerships, because everybody has a role. We work with organizations like SSDP, which is Students for a Sensible Drug Policy. They work on the policy side and helping to provide those resources. I say from a multi-state operator standpoint, from Green Thumb standpoint, we're here to provide the resources and the platforms to give, to uplift those voices of the people that are already out there making some noise, And so we don't need to recreate the wheel or recreate anything. There are organizations out there that's been doing this.
Yes.
That's been out there, picking it, been out there trying to push for change. So what we can do is to help push from whatever lane we have in terms of resources to provide the support that we can to ensure that those voices are heard, that things are, getting done that need to get done. Because I feel like a lot of times too, what I brought from the nonprofit side was like, you have different companies that are come to you with like what you should be doing, or like, here's the funding, this is what I want you to do. Right. It's the other way around. What do you need? What does the community need? What are the issues? What are the things you think we should be tackling? When I first started in this role, I spent 4 months just listening.
Did you?
Yeah, going on conferences, tour, like everywhere,
that.
Just listening. What are the needs? What are the people like? What are the top 3 issues? Like, what can I actually do? What can I accomplish? It's a big issue. We're not going to erase, systemic racism in the cannabis industry. That's a heavy lift for the cannabis industry, and what is on the shoulders of the cannabis industry. But what we can do is look at like what are the steps, the baby steps, the bricks that we can lay to help build towards something that will maybe my son, his son,
create
they
this
son,
legacy.
whatever,
Yes,
whatever that might make it just a little bit more better for, those generations to come. Because it's not going to change overnight. But I'm just big on like focusing on what can we do and how can we make it happen. And that's all you can do. Yeah, and stand by your word and do what you say you're going to do.
Thank you. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
We at 40 Tons are extremely grateful, that you guys hear us, see us. You see all the work we're doing in the community.
Everybody's talking about 40 Tons.
Sorry,
so
not
that's a
sorry.
Good thing. It's a good thing. I be on calls. They're like, yeah, you do the 40 Tons. I'm like, I know 40 Tons. Yes, I know 40 Tons.
Yes. We are, well, I am fresh off of just getting back from New York, where we had a career fair and the city of Jersey with the African American Chamber of Commerce. So,
oh yeah, we were there.
Yeah.
We were, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you guys were there. You weren't there, but your people were there.
Great Thumb had a table there. Yeah,
yes,
it was nice. Thank you for including us.
Yes. Oh my gosh, y'all's table stayed lit the whole entire duration of the event. I mean, it was people coming in, and I'd say, "Oh, Amazon is down over there," and they'd be like, "Oh, no, we came here just for the cannabis brand. Where is that one at? Where are they?" And I'm like, "Right there in the center, right?"
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, I know you guys got a lot of turnout, and hopefully some great talent. We'll pull from the Jersey side. So yeah,
we're busy in Jersey. We're doing a lot there.
Oh, good,
so
good.
Participating in these job fairs is really like a great way for us, not even to just build a pipeline of individuals that we can potentially hire, but to really just show. I mean, even just showing, being present, like having a person of color there to show, like, we are here. Because a lot of people, they don't know that there are people of color in this space. And so it's just so important to, like, again, you got to see it to believe it. And so I'm always big on, like, let's have people of color at these job fairs to ensure people know that
there definitely was.
We're here, we are here.
Yes, there definitely was. I know you spoke about your son, and I wanted to touch on that a little bit. You're a mother, and it was important that you raise your child in, where Black excellence. Well, that's what I like to refer to those states of Atlanta and the South and Chicago, so that he can be immersed in that culture and see that, you said for little Black boys to see the growth and turn into a, engineer, a lawyer, a doctor, whatever in that city. Yeah. And so with saying that, do you feel that bringing him to visit California, that it could be somewhat different or a challenge?
He got to know his Cali roots. He was just playing dominoes with my sister the other day. I'll show you the picture after.
Please do. How old is he?
He's 4, going on 14.
I could imagine.
Busy.
Oh, I could imagine. Is he Superman in his spare time,
no,
leaping off the couches?
He is the boss. My grandmother, she used to call me, be like, "Where the boss at? Where the boss?" No, he's so busy. But I mean, I just say it's like living in Pomona. I grew up, my family's from Compton. My mom, my uncles, everybody, my grandmother, she had a house in Compton. She came, I guess like during that Great Migration, moving her family here from the South. Everybody went different ways. My dad's mother is from Louisiana, that LA, Mississippi, Louisiana to Chicago.
I know that South. My dad's from Mississippi, so yes.
Yeah, Texas to LA. So they moved to LA. So they all grew up in Compton, and in, I don't know, it would be like the area near the jungles. Yeah. And also, I have family there. But then we moved to Pomona, out in the suburbs, about 35 minutes east of LA.
Yes, I'm familiar.
And so it's a super mixed area, but it's not predominantly Black. No. So for me, with my experience of moving to Atlanta, was like an awakening for me. I didn't want him to have that. I wanted him to be, I already feel like kids who grow up in the city have like a hustle in them that other kids don't have. Like people, I should say, they have a hustle in them that people don't have, other people don't have. I don't know, but it's like, I just feel like city kids have like this hustle and grit that I admire. And then also on top of that, I wanted it to be normal for him to see a Black principal. I wanted it to be normal for him to see just Black leadership, so that it's not something that is just far-fetched for him to even think that he can attain that. And so those little things are important, I feel like, for young Black males to see. And so, yes, we live on the South Side in the historic neighborhood of Bronzeville. And it's a beautiful area because it's where, during the Great Migration, most of the Black families came and settled there in Bronzeville. So there's a deep-rooted history in Bronzeville from a music, art scene. It's just an amazing place where it is a bustling, like, middle-class Black, just community. And I just love it because I want him to see entrepreneurs. I don't want him to think that he has to just go, I want him to think outside the box and just have a mindset of there is no limit.
Yeah.
The sky is not even the limit.
I love it. I commend you for
Yeah,
that.
and I want him to be surrounded by entrepreneurs of color. I want him to be surrounded by leaders of color to know that that he can be that as well. So yeah, that's why I'm staying there. And also I love where I live, but it's just partly for me too because I love summertime shy.
Oh my God, it's so hot and humid. But you know, I know
hot and humid
in Chicago,
next to the south. Girl, I lived in Atlanta. There is nothing like Atlanta. High and humid. Cali girl with the fresh pressed silk.
forget
living in
about
Atlanta.
it. Forget about it.
It is not. It's not a good look.
You know,
No.
come out looking like a lion's mane. You know, so
looking a hot mess. That's what you come out looking like.
Yes.
But Chicago, it does get hot, but it's not like Atlanta. Lord, not
Right.
or DC.
Yes,
No.
I mean, I commend you for thinking of your son's future.
Yeah,
and
look,
where
I'm
they
a
would
solo
go.
mom, so I have to it's just me and him. So every move that I make, I'm always thinking about how is this going to impact him.
Right.
What the friends, because Chicago got these things. People in Chicago, they got friends forever, like from preschool. I ain't never seen nothing like it.
They do.
It's
My
like,
grandma was like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like, oh, we went to preschool together. Like, how y'all still talk to each other? Like,
They lived in the same projects.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Girl, lived in the same projects. My dad, we would go. So the Cabrini Green, Cabrini Green has a jazz fest every year.
And out in
the
the
Cabrini,
yeah.
so where the projects used to be.
I
People
know,
come up to me, which floor your daddy live, which building your daddy live in? Like, how y'all still know each other?
Listen, they all know each other.
They all know each other.
And my great grandmother's friend that she was friends with, she still lived there. And it was a walk up. Elevator was always broken.
Yes.
So summertime, you would work up a sweat getting up to their apartment, but it was always this togetherness. Like
always a togetherness. That's why it's like. A little, and I've traveled a lot of places, and I've learned, even just from that experience, of a lot of nothing, but so much happiness and togetherness.
Oh my God,
right?
we're crammed in a 2-bedroom apartment and eating good and singing,
laughing, singing, and you can feel that sense of togetherness and community even when they have the project's not even there anymore, and they still come together. So for me with my son, I just have to that's why it's so important for me to create the community for him where he sees people who look like him. And it's just so great. I'm a true grassroots community person. And I can't wait to when he get a little older, because he's 4 and busy right now, but to get him involved in the work that I do, this is a lifetime for me, this type of work that I'm doing now. And I always tell people this is heart work. So this is something that's just natural for me. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so I can't wait until he's able to participate in that and to be able to give back to the community as well and have that sense of just pride in who he is and the desire to give back to his community as much as possible.
And I know it's work every day, all day, being a solo mom, because girl, I was a solo mom too, not once, not twice, but 3 times, when Anthony had to go away for his cannabis charges. So I know how that is and finding that work-life balance. So how do you do that?
Girl, I don't know. No sleep. No
Coffee.
Sleep. No sleep. No, I don't know. I was just talking about this yesterday. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you just do it. I feel like when you have a child, you develop this power within you that you don't even know that you have, this strength within you that you don't know that you have. And black women, we just gonna get it done.
Yeah,
so
you know what I call that?
What?
Black girl magic.
Yeah, black girl magic. We just get it done. And so it's just natural. You just take, and then mamas just in general, we just get it done. So I just balance it all. And the good thing too is working at Green Thumb, they're very, just
Do they give you that
super
flexibility?
I remember one time I had to take my son to a conference in Las Vegas for a cannabis conference in Vegas. So I had my mom drive up from Cali to Vegas.
Yeah,
I was
just 4 hours.
Meet me at the hotel. We're flying out. they stayed at the hotel while I just, did all of the things that I had to do at the conferences.
Boss was there, right? So boss, your son,
yeah,
he was there.
Boss.
So
that's what we're gonna call him, Mr. Boss.
Yeah, so
he was there, yeah, and so I would just pop in and check on him. So you just make it happen, especially because this is work that I love doing. I mean, the work we're doing with Good Green, the work that I do on the corporate Green Thumb side in terms of our social impact efforts for restorative justice, community engagement, our employee outreach work. Mm-hmm. It's stuff that I love to do. This is I'm in my zone in terms of, so it doesn't really feel like work, and I could do this, all the time. And so it is. So the balance is trying to stop myself from working so that I can make sure that I dedicate time to my son. Yeah, so that's why I can't wait for him to join me, because please believe, I talk about him so much. People are like, bring him. I'm like, y'all don't want that. Y'all don't want that smoke. Yeah, I promise y'all.
Listen, I'm a seasoned vet.
It sounds good. It sounds good.
I'm a seasoned vet. I have 3 under my belt and brothers and sisters and nieces and nephews. I got him. Yeah, no, I tell people it sounds good until he's there, and they're like, okay, wait, maybe we should wait a couple of years. Wait till those toddler years pass by. So with all the great things that Green Thumb is doing and Good Green, their initiative, what if someone is watching our chat now, and they say, hey, I love what Jai is doing. It's similar upbringings to myself. I'd like to do what she's doing. How can one start to become the next Jai? Because, you do have to retire. You do have to hand over the reins.
Well, one, don't be the next Jai. Be the next you. Be the next you. And because, it's one of those things, everybody brings their own, light to a situation. It's really I'm just in this place where I tell people, do what makes your heart tick. And if you want to do this type of work, I think people look at it and think this is just giving back to the community. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of relationship maintaining, building relationships. And why I say it's hard work, because you're looking at issues that are impacting your own community and having to wear a corporate hat, your personal hat, and having to sometimes take off that personal hat and wear your corporate hat to really push forward, goals and priorities that you have for your team, but then also stay true to yourself and be authentic with yourself and with your community. Ain't nothing worse than being, fake with your own community. And so it's a fine balance, but it's beautiful because every day I get to work on initiatives through our social impact program, restorative justice, to give back to communities that have been impacted through the war on drugs, through our umbrella of restorative justice. Our community engagement involves our employees. We have volunteer champions at our dispensaries across the U.S. that give back to the community to show that we're not just here to sell quality weed, we also are here to give back to the community and provide resources. Our environmental stewardship work that we do, to really be an eco-friendly business and to implement eco-friendly business practices. And then also our inclusion and belonging. And that is a lot of our working with our talent acquisition teams, the work that we're doing with you all, 40 Tons, on the Level Up Career Conference, and really trying to get people involved in the cannabis industry at GTI, but also just in general within the industry as a whole.
Yeah. Why do you think, just to transition a bit, why do you think other MSOs get such a bad rap? People will just drag them through the mud. And I know it's a big corporation that we're talking about, and it's a lot of checks and balances that have to go on behind the scenes for people that don't see, right? Some social equity brands will say, so-and-so can just give the money. They can just write the check to me. I'm here. Just do it. But why do you think that they get such bad raps, these MSOs, for not doing more in their community, even though they're taking?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that's really great is as an MSO, a multi-state operator, we have opportunities to leverage so many platforms to give back. So I think about GTI. we have our Roundup program at our dispensaries where our customers generously give on top of, round up their change to give. We've given over $380,000 in the last year or two from that program. We have our first day profits. Every time we open a store, we're able to donate the first day profits from that opening to a local organization. And we even look to our employees to help us find that organization so that it's a truly local grassroots org to say, who do you care about in the community? What are the organizations that you see that are out there doing good work and that are truly impactful? We've given over $180K to support those organizations. And then I think too, it's like looking at other ways where I think about our government affairs work that we do in terms of leveraging our lobbyists to push for policy change and cannabis policy reform and policy change in certain states to ensure that, people are able to operate their cannabis business as true businesses that we're not able to do because we're not federally legal. So we definitely look to leverage our lobbyists in those spaces. But then also too, I look at programs that we have with where we work to really help to diversify the space of businesses, where it'd be through scholarships. We gave $200K to Olive Harvey College in Chicago, where we gave to the Cleveland School of Cannabis and to the Illinois Cannabis Training Center, giving over like 30 scholarships to students and almost over $300K to just help fund education services. In New Jersey alone, over $150K to support cannabis business entrepreneurs, students, and programming there, New Jersey for Black Lives. So there's a lot going on. And I think it really is the key piece is the storytelling and really showing the true story behind the impact that is happening. So it's not just dollars. And I think a lot of times people will focus on the dollars, but it's like, what is that true story? Who is that person that was truly impacted by those contributions? That student who was able to finish that Illinois Training Center Bud Tenders program, or Bud Tenders training program. How did that impact their life? So that's why I'm so excited about the partnership with 40 Tons and the Level Up Career Conference, because we'll be able to really have one-on-one conversations to hear from people, whether it be if they're going through the expungement process at the fair, whether they're going through the job interviews, and to be able to capture those one-on-one stories from real people to hear how these types of efforts are truly impacting them on a daily basis.
Oh yes, let me tell you, Jai, a quick story. It's what we're doing at 40 Tons with our career conferences definitely is going to wow everybody. So the story I have to tell you is this: our very first career conference was in Hawthorne.
I remember.
You remember?
We supported it.
Yes. And I had spoke on a panel there, and there was a young lady. Her name was Yadira. She came over to me and she says, I thank you for bringing this to my city. I live down in Compton, and your story inspired me, because I went into this interview that I had on site, and they asked me had I been convicted of any cannabis offense. And at first I was going to say no, because I know that once they find out, they were going to hire me. But she says, after hearing your story, I just told them, yes, I was. And come to find out, it was her husband and her who were in the legacy market, and they had like 5 children between them. They both go to jail. The children are dispersed, right? So it's a horror story. So I exchanged information with her, and maybe about 4 to 6 weeks later, myself, Anthony, and Corvain, we were at this dispensary retailer, large one, and we were doing a tour and getting some content, right? Our product was on their shelves, and I see her, and she's in uniform. The white hat, the gown, right?
Full circle.
Yes, and everybody is doing, there's all the whole camera set up, and everybody's, chit-chatting among themselves, and her and I just locked eyes, and we just have this moment, we just go and hug, and I was like, oh my God, Yadira, like, I see what you're doing here, but she's like, can you believe this? Like, they hired me, and I'm here, right? Okay, so that. Fast forward 8 months, 10 months later, I see her again. She's still at the same job. She's now supervisor.
Oh my God.
Right.
See?
Fast forward 6 months later, right?
That's awesome.
Right. So I invite her to my Canna Christmas Foundation gala that I had. And she is telling me that she is now manager, and it's the best thing that's happened to her. And she's so grateful. And
That's so awesome.
Right. So it's stories like that like still gives me the chills that like, I can't believe I met this person.
It's not about the big numbers. You know, a lot of companies, and I'm not talking about cannabis companies, I'm just talking about companies in general, are looking for big numbers, like 5,000, 20,000. But it's like, what does that mean? You know, what does it really mean? Are we truly making an impact? Are we really meeting people where they are? Are we really helping people in their lives? And so those types of stories are just beautiful because you can actually see the fruits of your labor and say, wow, like, we really helped somebody. And somebody is in a job right now because of the work that we've done. So kudos to y'all. Shout out to 40 Tons.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I mean, you guys have been there, it seemed like, from the beginning once we all were home, you know.
Yeah.
Always supporting us in our endeavors and rolling with us, and just knowing that trusting that we were doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Right. Because I know there's always some mistrust that can happen when you have larger companies, you know, trying to make strides in the community. So
the good thing is our community's word of mouth is king.
Ain't
and
it?
So the streets is talking. Everybody talks about. Everybody knows everybody in cannabis. So it really. The trust thing is not really big because like everybody knows each other in this space, and so it was a no-brainer. So it makes perfect sense. But I'm so happy that's kudos. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
those are the kind of experiences we want to see come out of the event happening in Chicago and all the other events that we'll work on together.
Yes,
at the Level Up Career Conference. And
yes.
So I want to make sure like we capture those. And we can meet people and talk to them, hear their journey. Where did they come from? Yeah. How did they get into this space? What brought them to the event?
It's so interesting.
Yeah, some people have amazing stories, whether it be from a medical side or they come from the legacy market or they were just interested in transferring their skills from an accounting firm to cannabis. And so
accounting and bookkeeping,
it all matters, and just to hear their journey. And that's the stuff that people remember.
Yeah. Oh my God. Absolutely. Like I will never forget Yadira. And there's so many, smaller stories, but that was like, I just kept running into her. And it wasn't like we were talking every day, all day, but it was just this organic, event that happened for her, and she is enjoying it and have all her kids back. And
Aww.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So, and it allowed like her to, like other things to transition for her. So like her husband is now applying for clemency. So
oh wow,
yeah.
And she's a black woman.
She's brown.
But just look, a woman of color helping another woman of color.
Yes, of Hispanic descent. So black and brown. Like because we're always.
You can't even get any better than that.
So as we wrap up this episode of Tons Talk with Jai Kensey, why don't you tell the people where they can find you, how they can give you a follow, and Green Thumb and the other initiatives that you guys are doing in the community?
Yeah, so people can go to on Instagram, Be Good Green, or they can go to good.green to learn more about the Level Up Job Fair, to learn about our previous grant winners, to learn about all the activities that we do with the brand Good Green from a community social impact standpoint. So yeah, those are definitely the websites to check out. Again, good.green or on Instagram at Be Good Green.
Okay, thank you. And that concludes this episode of Ton Talk. I am Loriel, 40 Tons, out.
Now I put money on your books until the day that you sentence up. One nigga Corvain said he living life after life. For all the homies on the bunks that was talking night after night.